Hi, Genki Call here. It is the week of January 23rd, 2023, and we are in campaign cooldown. That means no campaign tasks this week. There are no more buffs from the last campaign. That is gone until we start a new campaign and we'll earn some new buffs. We do still have the Kingdom Pass going on for a while here. We still have almost 2 weeks to go on that. And then also we have the Lunar Revel event also going on, which ends in a week. So reset next week is when that will be over with, but we will still be able to spend our um right stuff. Well, not the sigils. We'll be able to spend the currency in the shop here for a week after it ends. So, what do we have going on? Well, first of all, don't forget to check out the adventure board. We've got some deeds and an imperial in here. And then we have Tower of Doom. I'm going to come back to that in a little bit. We are in Nexus this week, and let's go over what you can get with your event keys in a minute. First, we're going to head into the shop, head into resources, grab your spoils of war. I recommend getting all 10 of these every week if you can. It's a fantastic deal for event keys. Every event key is a chance at a mythic. And you get a little other stuff, but basically you want those event keys. So grab that and then head over to the weekly event and grab the new glory troop. This is the doomed gargoyle, and is it going to be any good? I don't know. Convert a chosen mana gem to an uber doom skull. Sounds like one gem is going to get converted. This is like a Xeris, but instead of one skull, it's an Uber Doom skull. So definitely 10 points of damage at least if you make a match. And then create a brown gem when his turn begins. This is what the Nexus troops do, and reduce damage from skulls by 50%. So anyway, I recommend, if you can, once again, getting as many of these as you can up to mythic level if possible. Simply because you get all of these resources, you don't have to grind for the arcanes, and you have a troop that you can get up to level 20 for your power level just by spending some glory. However, before I do that, I want to go into Nexus and I'm going to want to spend some event keys, and I'll show you why. There are two new troops today, not just the Glory troop. There is also a new legendary today. So let me show you the new legendary. Her name is Queen Ash. She does splash damage to the second to the last enemy, which is perfect. It's much better than doing it to the last enemy because splash can hit up to 3 enemies at once. They just have to be touching. Heavy splash damage, which means the troop that she hits is going to get the full amount. Anything nearby is going to get 75% of that damage. Boosted by brown gems, so an extra 2 damage for each brown gem. And brown gems and allies. Pull them to the front and then create 3 elemental stars. I like this final trait here. Give 2 magic to all elemental allies when matching brown gems. Too bad it's not just all allies. That would be even better, but she does have skull damage reduction by 50%, and of course create a brown gem when a turn begins. She's a new legendary. We can pinpoint her kind of sort of by using event keys this week, so I'm absolutely going to do that. But before I do, let's go over all of the other troops that you can pull with your event keys. So we have 2 mythics. We have Aquaria. This is the first time Aquaria has been in the drop table since it came out. Damage, splash damage, regular splash damage, so hit the main enemy for this much, and then the adjacent troops will get 50% of that, so basically, for me, it'd be like 25 damage to each adjacent troop. But this is to 3 random enemies, boosted by submerged allies, extra 3 damage for each submerged ally. 4 life to all blue allies when matching blue gems. Create a blue gem when my turn begins, and submerge myself when I take damage. Basically, this is Aquaticus for Nexus, but not quite as good. Kalika does damage to 4 random enemies boosted by elemental stars, plus 6 damage for each elemental star on the board. She has a 50% chance to create an elemental star at the start of the turn. Spell damage reduction, allied elementals gain 2 life. Then we have King Heliodor. I like him. He can be really fun to use on a team with 3 King Heliodors. Super fun. True damage to the first enemy boosted by brown gems and allies, then knock them to the back, then create 3 elemental stars. Give 5 life to all elemental allies when matching brown gems. Create a brown gem. When my turn begins, you're going to see a lot of this type of thing going on. Pretty much every troop here has this of some color, and then skull damage reduction by 50%. You will not be able to get a few of these troops that you're seeing on the screen. You will not be able to get the levers, but that is only available through the vault. You won't be able to get the Umbral Portal, the Darkborn Warlock, dum 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 dum, da da dum dum, the Lightborn Paladin, or last one is the Void Wisp. Those 4 troops are only available at Umbral Nexus, the faction that is connected to this kingdom. You have to use your Chaos Shards in the Underworld to get those 4 troops, but you can get the Nexus Portal. Nexus Portal creates 4 to 6 elemental stars, which can just blow everything off of the board because it's likely going to match something, and then it summons a random Nexus troop. When I say blow it off the board, I mean, clear a lot of gems off of the board. Conjure an Elemental Storm when matching 4 or more gems. An Elemental Storm is elemental stars falling more often than other gems. Just like any other storm, like a light storm has more yellow gems, this is more elemental stars. Then we have Queen Ash. Can't get this, can't get those. Already went over this guy. And then we have Hawthorne, who just, yep, hello, destroys a row. That's as if those gems were matched. Deals damage to the first enemy boosted by green allies, and however many gems were destroyed, get an extra 3 damage for each. Ignore the Pathfinder thing, doesn't matter anymore. Skull damage reduction, 25%, creates a green gem. Then we have the Natureborn Hunter, who's also going to create a green gem. Skull damage reduction by 33%. Creates 1 elemental star plus 1 more for every 3 green allies. That is not correct. I remember this. And plus 1 more for every 3 green gems. So 1 more for each green ally. Leave the number 3 out of there. Plus 1 more for every 3 green gems. And if the enemy has a beast, gain an extra turn. So weird the way they did that. Alright, Shale. Shale is really good. You really want to have this troop. Convert a mana gem into an elemental star. And that doesn't sound that powerful, but you set it up so that it's on a match 4. That elemental star is going to remove a bunch of gems, get you lots of mana, and you get an extra turn. Summon the blooper. Summon a Death Storm at the start of battle and create a brown gem. Then we have the Umbral Giant. Damage to an enemy, then convert 5 green gems to brown giant gems. The giant gems give you 5 mana each and explode. So as long as you don't lose control of those giant gems, they're very helpful. Also creates a brown giant gem when he takes skull damage. He has no skull damage reduction, but if he happens to take skull damage, then he creates a brown giant gem. The Valiant Pyrea, she's going to create a red gem at the start of the turn. She's a Godslayer, which means any troop with a red border, she's going to do this 3 to 5 times damage. 3 at base rarity, 4 times the damage at legendary, and 5 times the damage at mythic, and then gain 2 magic for each elemental star on the board. So, that purple number you're seeing here is going to go up every time she casts as long as there are elemental stars around. And yep, that's it for her. Water Weird creates a blue gem. No surprise there. Submerges itself when it takes damage. Real pain to fight. with AoE because it submerges itself every time you touch it. And this one is the Siege Breaker, so it's just like the Godslayer, except instead of doing that extra damage to red border troops, it's going to do the extra damage to the towers, including Leonis Tower. Damage to an enemy, gain 2 mana back for each elemental star on the board. And then we have the Waterborne Priestess, who's going to give life to all allies, boosted by blue gems and allies, +1 for each. Creates a blue gem, submerges herself when she takes damage. Once again, very annoying to fight. And then Lightborn Paladin, can't get that, my bad. Natureborn Wolf creates green, I think? Yes, green skull damage reduction by 33%. Immune to Entangle, which makes it good to run at the front of the team if they've got skulls going on. Damage to an enemy and entangles them, and if they die, create 2 elemental stars and gain an extra turn. Next up, the Stoneborn Lion, which has skull damage reduction by 50%. It's immune to stun and creates a brown gem when the turn begins. It does damage to an enemy and stuns them, and if they die, create 2 elemental stars and gain an extra turn. Love the extra turn on that. Waterborne Owl creates a blue gem, submerges itself when it takes damage, immune to frozen. Damage to an enemy and freezes them. Again, if the enemy dies, create 2 elemental stars and gain an extra turn. These are all basically the same. Fireborn Eagle does damage to an enemy and burns them. Again, same thing. Creates a red gem. It's immune to burning and fairy fire. The Fireborn Warrior, 25% skull damage reductions, has the immunity to burning and fairy fire, and creates a red gem. It burns 2 to 4 random enemies. Gains armor, boosted by red gems and allies, so +2 for each red gem and for each red ally. Then we have the Nature Weird. I actually really like using this troop. It is one of the bounty troops, and I really like using this during bounty on those early levels because it makes them go much faster than killing things individually on those early levels. Then it also creates a green gem, has skull damage, dodge ability, scatter damage boosted by elemental stars. There are no elemental stars in bounty, so that part is kind of messed up, but still very, very helpful for those early levels. And lastly, we have the Natureborn Warden. It does a range of damage. That's a big range too. To a random enemy boosted by green gems and allies. It's a 1-to-1 ratio, so +1 for each. Creates a green gem, 50% chance to ignore armor with skull damage. Now, that's true damage with skulls, and it's a 50% chance. That's the same thing Artima does, and Artima is a legendary. Of course, the spell isn't as good, but it's a nice trait. Anyway, let's see if we can get the legendary real quickly. There is, of course, when you're using the event chests or keys, you can get a mythic out of it. I'm only going to do 50 chests at once, and I'm glad I did. Ah, I got what I needed. I already have all of the other troops, so that's really exciting that I got it so quickly. That's amazing. Oh, I'm very, very pleased about that. Ah, and I could totally try to get more and blow through all of my keys. I'm going to save them for the next time a legendary comes out or the next time we go to a kingdom where I need the mythic. So, oh, that was streamer luck for sure. Ah, I love it. All right, next up we've got dum, 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 dum. Yes, we have Tower of Doom. I'm going to get to that. We've got this. We've got this. Went over those. So this week, Nexus troops and elementals each have 10% bonus to their skills, and if they are elemental and from Nexus, and I think they all are, they get +20% to their skills for this whole week. Then if you take the new troop into PvP, you get a bonus trait stone. It could be any trait stone. It could be an arcane. It could be a minor. You never know. All right, so let's talk about the Tower of Doom. I will make a video later on I've got to get some rest, so I can't do it tonight, but I didn't want to leave you hanging on this. We have a new doomed weapon in here. It's in the Soul Forge, but don't waste your hard-earned diamonds grabbing this. Um, in the Soul Forge, when you can get it in the event shop here in the Tower of Doom, damage to the last enemy boosted by brown gems if they have a doom, yada yada. There's a 3% chance per tempering level to kill the enemy, so you can get up to a 30% chance to insta-kill the enemy, the last enemy, as long as they're not immune to it. And there are two that players can own that are immune. They are Enraged Kurandara and Leona's Tower, and any doom. The dooms also are immune to insta-kill. So using this against a Tower of Doom troop is not going to work because, yeah, you can't do that. Anyway, so if you go into the shop and we'll get 30, then we get this. So any brown troop is what you can use in here. That means any mythic that uses brown is in the drop table for this. As long as they're not a special troop like Zathenos or Zul'Goth who doesn't use brown. You can get, possibly, if you're really lucky, you could get a mythic from the shop here. But I'll probably be buying quite a few of these. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to buy all the way up to tier 6 because it's, you know, gotta have those forge scrolls. So I'll also be helping my guild with mapping when I get some sleep, after I get some sleep. Um, but those forge scrolls are really hard to come across, and it's a great way to get them. Also, if you haven't done the Tower of Doom before, um, every time you defeat a Doom, you get another forge scroll, which you have to have in order to level up your doomed weapons. And until those new forge orb the forging orbs, you know what I mean. Until those orbs came out recently, the only way to get these was the Tower of Doom. And if you had the resources to craft them in the Soul Forge. But anyway, as far as the Tower of Doom goes, let me show you that I will come up with teams later, but for now, any brown attack team is going to work in the Tower of Doom. It's a brown Tower of Doom, therefore you can use all brown troops. I will leave a link to this post on my forum for your perusal. You can go through here and see if there's something that you like in here, and you can change the weapon. Weapon doesn't matter. It does not have to be brown. So you can pick anything you like here. I'll make some teams specifically for this Tower of Doom um, as soon as I can. And in the meantime, let me show you one more thing, and that is right here. So these are the boons that you can get. Each room has a boon, and this is what each of them does. The ones that say guild will affect your entire guild, like the armor scroll will give +1 armor to everyone in your guild. This is really one of those events that you work together with your guild on. If you're in a guild that coordinates, you will have a way to see what the mapping is so that you can coordinate and just get the boons that you want for your guild. Like my guild, we don't even worry about the armor, the life, the attack, the that kind of thing. We don't worry about those. We definitely want those doom sigils. We definitely want those luck scrolls and the power scrolls. Um, and of course, the fireball and heroism scrolls are also very good for my guild. If you're not going to try to get to level 25, then It's not as important. If you're not going for the leaderboard, you don't have to worry about getting the haste scrolls and all of that stuff because if you're not going for the leaderboard, you don't need it. It just depends on what the goals are for your guild. But you can see here each room, um, these numbers are difficulty. Difficulty. It's not the order you have to do them in. It's just it's just the difficulty of the room. And then of course, the boss room has the doom in it, and you defeat it, you get your forge scroll all the way up through level 25. You can get up to 25 from doing this. I hope I'm not repeating myself. I'm very tired. Anyway, you should see up on the screen right now, there should be some links to a couple of more videos about the Tower of Doom. If you have questions, please let me know in the in the comments down below if you have any questions or just want to say hi. Anyway, please like and subscribe. I'll be back with you with more information as soon as I can. And we'll see you folks soon. Bye bye.